Hey, how's everybody doing? It's 9:18 on Wednesday night on 4/22/20, and you know what's really going on. Well, mental health for one, from what I've been seeing and what I've been hearing from some friends, everybody's struggling with different aspects of this lockdown, the uncertainty what's going on, and you know at the end of the day, things are going to be what they are. For those people who have any type of mental health diagnosis, these are some tough times. The uncertainty of getting back to normal. There's some protests going on. There's an eerie vibe going on. There's all this political intrigue. There's this blame game going on. There's this 22 million jobs were lost. There's no toilet paper. There's no disinfectants in the stores. There's there's all kinds of opposition. But at the end of the day, our opposition is an opportunity. Through life we go through stages and phases. But do those stages and phases define you, or do you find the outcomes of it? And it's you really got to go through some things in order to get a perspective that allows you to truly appreciate everything that you have today. I've gotten some text messages over the last week. Many of my friends have relapsed back to drugs and alcohol. One person I know OD'd. A couple of people just wanted to make the final decision and just didn't feel like living anymore for whatever reason. I'm somebody who I also have had manic depressive syndrome, which is now called bipolar, for most of my life, for like the last 35 years. And at the end of the day, it's just managing it and trying to get some coping mechanisms. But at the end of the day, I can only hold myself accountable to the things that are going on in my life. When things are out of control like they are now, it's nothing that I can actually do about it. I'm just one person. But what I can do is I can try to help somebody else go through some of these stages and phases. And that's an interesting point too, because you get so emotionally entrenched with other people and what they're going through, and then they may not want to communicate. So you're just like, what the hell's going on? And you know what? But then a couple of days later, you find out that, man, they're thriving once again, and that's my goal, to see anybody at a position or a state. It's it's been interesting for me, dealing with trying to go to doctors, physical therapy, trying to apply for unemployment in the state of California, which is really interesting because the website keeps crashing. But it's outside of my control. The only thing I can do is kind of keep at it, and tomorrow's always another day. I just want to make sure that I make it through this day in the best possible way, and that's not always possible. Because trust me, I'm constantly faced with opposition, but I look at opposition as an opportunity for some type of growth, because if I don't do it, I'm missing out on a whole lot. Um, you know, Watching TV, reading books, playing video games, sometimes taking a drive or sometimes even taking a walk. It just seems to satisfy those demons inside, but at the end of the day, it's I have to hold myself to accountable for that which my mind state. Sometimes I have to change the script up. And trust me, a lot of people that know me think that I'm exempt from all interesting parts of life, and trust me, I'm not. I go through them too, but I'm just used to it, and I've just accepted it that, at least I'm not as causing as much harm as I used to, and that's a good place to be. More so that like when I woke up this morning, I was concerned about a few people, and then I got some messages earlier. I got a voicemail, and they're all right. They said, "Hey, you know what? Hopefully, my efforts over the weekend actually helped them out. And hopefully they can pass it on to somebody else, because you can't. The more turmoil you face, the better time it is for that quality and value to your life, and hopefully you can pass that stuff on along to somebody else. Each one, reach one, teach one. I just hope the powers that be would just keep some of this rhetoric down, and people would just be a little bit more nicer instead of being as nasty and as salty as they are. And but a lot of people are hurting during these times, and why are they hurting? Man, I mean, their lives has been shaken upside down. So that being the case, does that give the person justification to start pointing fingers at somebody else, or just being nasty, downright nasty? Is that what is that going to solve? Maybe it helps them out for the moment, but in order, if it makes them feel better for the moment, that's like an artificial feel good, and you're going to have to keep doing that in order to keep replicating that feeling, that good feeling that you get. It's sort of like using drugs, or if you find substance abuse. If that's your coping skill, in order to keep coping, you're going to have to continually do it, and at some point, it's possible that you're going to create an addiction or some dysfunctional problems, or maybe cause a lot of toxic situations in your life. But some people have to learn the hard way, and hopefully they can learn from examples of some people that actually been through it. Um, Me myself, and I'm going through it, but not to the point to where I just want to be salty to people. Not to the point to where I want to start hurting people. Not to the point to where I want to start hurting myself. Not to the point to where I got to go do some bad behaviors in order for myself to feel well. I give everything to God that I can't handle, and God rejects a lot of it and kick back and said, "No, you deal with it to the best of your ability," and that's what I do. You deal with the circumstances such as have been presented, and hopefully you can make the best decision possible, and then keep going. I wake up in the morning. Hopefully, because I'm not on the East Coast, I get to watch Breakfast with Gary Vee. That kind of like sets my day off into a tone. It's just getting it off while the coffee's brewing. I come back, I stretch my back out, and I do some stretching, and just starts my day off on the right foot. And then, just what's going on, you know. And I try to invest in the good of mankind instead of the bad, you know. But I'm really adamant about seeing opposition as an opportunity in as many different disguises, because it shows up in many different ways. And a lot of times, the things that a person, I can only speak for myself, the things that I never faced or dealt with are only going to come back, and sometimes they're going to come back stronger. So the most the thorough process for me to do is to continually just deal with it, and hopefully I make the best decision. The solution is always there. The right solution is always there, or there's many different solutions, but hopefully I can pick the right one for the given circumstances. And it's just a fact of life that you learn. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make mishaps, and then you're gonna grow from it, and then hopefully it'll start thriving again. Only until the next opposition comes. I think a lot of people have been crushed during the last 6 weeks, I guess. Haven't been really keeping track, but in the last, a lot of people have been crushed. So, what do you do about it? How are you reinventing yourself? Are you just sitting there becoming the victim, or are you becoming the victor? The human condition states that as humans, we want what we want, how we want it, and when we want it. But like I've said, if you watch any of my previous videos, I like to delve into the human spirit, whereas things are long term. Things are never in the short term. Things in the short term don't typically work out that well. And I try to be, I tell my friends that, I've been super solid from day one, but things still don't turn out the way that I would perceive them to be. They're going to be what they are, and I just have to make adjustments. And it hasn't been easy, trust me, by no means, if I can really tell it like it is. And it gets me frustrating to the point to where I would like to go back to my former life. But that's just my thinking, and poor me, poor Kelly, who, why am I not me? I'm not exempt. I don't think that none of us are exempt, But seeing that I'm not exempt from any type of opposition or challenges or hardships in my life, just allows me to step my game up a little bit, put some music on, and you know what, and it's like half heart, half money, and like as we used to say, and just try to do the damn thing to the best of my ability, and then I get inspired by I watched a lot of lectures on YouTube. I watch a lot of motivational speakers. Hinky Johnson being number one, Gary Vee, Eric Thomas, Les Brown. Then I go to a lot of guys from years gone by, and that's where I get my motivation from. And it's a lot of times I get my motivation from the people that are closest to me. I see a lot of people that I know on Facebook or people that I don't know on Instagram or Twitter, and I'm just really inspired by people who are just constantly evolving and dealing with the circumstances such as have been presented. And that's an amazing part of the human process, because we don't know it all. But if I could look at somebody and see that effort and the energy that they're giving, it's sort of like the people protesting. I don't believe in a lot of what they're doing, but the energy that's associated with it is just amazing. Not the rhetoric, not the hate, and not the blame that they're spewing, but more so that energy that they have. Not the blame game, because we've reached a point in our lives where everybody wants to blame something else. Well, you know what? At the end of the day, something has to be done. You can sit there and blame. That's that victim mentality, and it's always blaming this or this. Well, what are you going to do about it? Because at the end of the day, pointing the fingers, playing the blame game doesn't solve any issues. It's all about the process, effort, actions, and sacrifice. But what sacrifices are you willing to do for the person that you're going to be tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year? We're coming at a novel point in our lifestyle to where things are not going to go back the way we used to. Are you ready for it? Some people don't want to acknowledge it, but you know what? Once again, there's some more opposition. We just don't know what's going to be in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year, or a couple of years later. Hopefully, we'll all be alive. I don't want to see nobody else die as a result of COVID. Take me. I'm willing to take one for the team. And on Facebook, I had a post about an open letter to COVID-19. It's like, you know what? I'm willing to take one for the team for the greater good of everybody else. But that's when I get into that selfish phase, because I haven't always been this person that you see today, and and pure and total change it's allowed me to do some things that I'm just baffled by, and I think that's just one of the things when you reach a higher state of existence and your mind state and your spirit and everything else. And it's just like, man, I'm willing to do some things I never thought I'm willing to just make some sacrifices in my life. I sacrifice my time, my energy, it gets frustrating. It really does. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's really worth it. It's just truly worth it, because adversity is my friend. It's not my enemy today. And I welcome adversity. Like I was talking to a friend the other day, and in the conversation we were having, I said, you know what? When I feel challenged, I really feel like that's where I really come alive. When everything is like cool and comfortable and everything is just going right, I got money to bank, all the bills are paid, and everything on the job is going well, and all my friends are thriving, I just feel like, oh no, this is too foreign for me. I like it when it gets really nitty gritty. There's a bunch of chaos going on, because that's my life was all about chaos prior to 2012, and I just kind of like, it just feels comfortable for me. I get a warm feeling about it, and then, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't know. And sometimes I fold in, and I get depressed, I get anguished, I get pissed off, I get, I get all these negative emotions, but at the end of the day, I have to step back. I play some music, play some video games, drink lots of coffee, and then, then the answer comes. And then it's about applying it, and then, overcoming that. It's like, damn, man, I just did that. And it's just amazing, because, I look at people like Inky Johnson, who was, for all intents and purposes, paralyzed. Now he came back, and now he's thriving, and he's just trying to inspire so many different people to do so much stuff. I'll put a link in the description for the Inky Johnson story, for those of you who might be interested in it. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just life, and I hope that anything that I said, because I'm getting close to 15 minutes, and I'm gonna try to keep it as short as I can. If anybody has got anything, any value, man, share this with somebody else who's struggling right now. Don't forget to like, comment if you feel the need to, and man, until next time, you guys have a great night.